Okay, so we've skim coated both the walls and the ceiling 4 times, and we have sanded it down, and now it's time to seal the surface. So what we're going to use is the Guards Primer Sealer again, and this stuff is great too because it's gonna penetrate into the porous nature of the joint compound here, and it's gonna seal in the walls. And this is great too because when you sand, it does generate dust. So there is a little bit of dust that's on the surface, but this stuff can penetrate through that dust. So I already cut it in, as you can see, and now I'm just gonna roll the primer out. And when you're priming over joint compound like this, you want to use a 1/2 inch roller nap. It's just gonna hold a lot more, and it's gonna assure it to work it into the surface here. Because once again, the surface is extremely porous, and we definitely want to seal it up again. Okay, so we finally got all the prep work done, the skim coating and the priming, and now it's time to paint. So I have a 2.5 inch brush here, and I have my paint bucket, and you can see the paint inside of here. I probably only have like 1/4 to 1/2 inch of paint in there, and that's all you want in there. You don't want so much paint that the paint ends up coming up on your brush. Then it gets on your hands, and that won't be good. So only put like 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of paint in there, and you'll never have that problem. These buckets are great too because there's a magnet on like the inside here, so you can stick your brush there, and you can also roll from these right here. You can roll with the 6 inch roller. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slowly dip it in, and I'm going to tap it to one side, tap it to the other side. You don't want to scrape it off because then that gets rid of all the paint from your brush, and you don't want that. So once I have it like this, I'm going to transfer the paint to the wall here, probably like an inch away. I'm pressing in, and that's releasing the paint to the left and the right of it. Now, the brush has been unloaded now, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the bead closer to it and closer. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in and push in and just go down with it, and that's going to give you a straight line. Now next you have to take care of all the paint that is right here, so we're going to feather that out, and now feather it out by going up there, and that way when this dries here, it'll dry to a smooth surface and it won't be rough, and you won't see a lot of brush strokes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this off here. So I'm going to go an inch to the wall, and it releases it. That puts it there, and then I'm just going to slowly drag the bead closer to the wall here. And remember, this has been caulked, so I'm cutting on a perfectly smooth concave surface, so that's going to give me a clean straight line. And once again, when I feather it off, I'm going to come down from the bottom and into what I did, and then lift off. You don't want to come in that way because then it'll reveal where the brush came in and it won't look good. So that's how you cut that in. Now I'm going to come over here and cut this one in. Now I'm going to use my left hand for this one. So here's the paint again. I'm going to dip it in, and then I'm going to slowly just tap it to one side, and then transfer it an inch over, up again, and then come into it. And once you come into it, you can actually see the bead that you're dragging along. And then we're going to feather off the excess here. So once again, in there, transfer it to the wall, and then come into it. Okay, so we're going to be cutting in the walls here, and the ceiling is done now, so you can't get any on the ceiling. And I'm using a 2.5 inch brush here, And what I'm going to be using after I transfer the paint to the wall, I'm primarily just going to be using the tip here. And when I start to do it, you'll be able to see it better. So I'm gonna give it a little dip, and then I'm gonna transfer it like an inch or two below the wall, and then I'm gonna come back into it. Now I'm just using the top tip here, and I'm just gonna come into it, and I'm just pressing down lightly on the brush to drag that bead. So I'm going into the corner with it. And now I'm going to feather this all off. Okay, so everything is cut in now, and now it's time to roll. I have my roller down here, and I have a 3/8 nap on it. That's the nap that you want to use on a smooth surface like this, so it doesn't create too much of a texture. So we're just going to transfer this to the wall here, and we're just going to like make a W, and what that's going to do is it's going to release the paint. And now we just come back in and fill in the W. And you want to come as close to the corners as possible with the roller. And then come close to the ceiling here. Now this is an eggshell paint, so it will have a sheen in it, and it will reveal how it was rolled. So it's very important that once you get the surface covered with the paint, that you that you go back up with it, and that'll get rid of any roller marks, or when you draw the roller in the W. So this will get rid of all those lines. And then with the top here, you want to turn the roller perpendicular to it and get as close as you can to the ceiling. And then go up with it again, because there will be a line there caused by the roller here. So go up with it. And that finishes off that section. Now we're going to reload it down here again and put this to the wall. Make a W. Now this is like where a majority of the paint is, so when you roll back into that, you want to slow your rolling down as to not spatter. So it's pretty much all loaded up again. And now I'm going to work my way to my right here, because this is where it has the least amount of paint here. And now with the corner, I'm going to use this side of the roller here, and I want to get as close to it as possible without hitting that wall with the edge of the roller. So that's that, and I'll turn it perpendicular here at the baseboard and come as close to it as possible. And then with this corner, okay, so it's all loaded up, and now what we're going to do is we're going to roll it off, and we're going to come into what we just did and come off. So we just go up and then come off. So, and then we're just going to let this dry now. And because of the way that I rolled it, it's all going to dry as one, and you won't get any lap marks or roller marks. So that's how you roll out a wall.